Heyo, my Planet Coaster friends, Johnny5 Alive here, and welcome back to another episode of Coaster Spotlight. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Cascade Falls, created by Syncros. So, stay tuned, and let's check it out. Alright, this was sent in by one of our Discord expert builders and golden patrons. Thank you so much for your support, Syncros. You're helping to keep the show go on. And he says here, hey Johnny, here's my latest creation, Cascade Falls. I've wanted to try something using the new Cascade Coaster for a while, and this is what I came up with. There's a bit of terraforming to do with the setup, but I suggest setting up the pathing first before doing any of the water. The 8-meter push tool seems to work best for me. There's a royalty-free audio file in the description of the Steam Workshop that suits the coaster theme well. Hope you enjoy. Okay, I did not know that. Let's go grab that now. Alright, and the music is hooked up. Here's a look at the coaster, everybody. Quite a nice blueprint. Love the sign here. Cascade Falls, surrounded by waterfalls, little water wheels. Really cool architecture built into the side of the mountain. And I like how the cascade is weaving in and around. Oh, we forgot to do one more pool here from the looks of it. Boom. Alright. Yeah, the coaster's weaving in and around the terrain quite nicely. The Cascade, usually we see a lot of people using the Cascade sort of like a log flume. And with this one, it's definitely leaning towards more of the coaster. It seems like this splash here might be the only big splash. So I will reserve judgment. I think a good mixture. I prefer it when people do make it more like a coaster, but include some kind of either dark ride or scenic water ride experience. But I think a mixture between the two is nice. Because at the end of the day, it's not the best coaster. It doesn't have the most options. But I think it's still pretty cool. Alright, so there's a quick look at it, everybody. Let's check out the nighttime lighting. Very nice. Rock work on this is really good as well. Okay, let's check out the stats and give this thing a ride. So you got 6.87 excitement, 4.92 fear, and a 1.26 nausea. There's the rest of the results if you want to see them. And let's dive on into it. We got the custom music, Waterfall 1. Okay, there we go. All right, very cool. No pun intended. I do think I might have missed some more water here, so if you guys are setting this up yourself, I think there's supposed to be some water on the inside as well. That would make sense. It's quite nice in here. And as we saw from the cinematic shots, let's pause this for a sec. As we saw from the cinematic shots, you get a good look inside of the cave, and it really does weave in and out quite nicely. Now, I think there's a good discussion to be had about the Cascade here. As I was saying at the beginning of the video, the coaster might just run here as a log flume, and a coaster everywhere else. Now, the interesting thing about the Cascade is, if we go all the way up this lift, and we drop down, gain speed, and let's just say it goes from here all the way to here, and then we hit them with a splash section, that technically acts as a brakes section. Your coaster comes to a complete stall, pretty much, or whatever the water moves at it, 5 miles per hour or something, and you've lost all the momentum of your coaster from the top down to the bottom, and in order to do a coaster run again, you're going to need another lift. What I do like about this one here, what Syncros has done, he's dropped the coaster down and used the VFX splashes to kind of simulate we're hitting the bottom and getting wet. And then again, as it comes down around here, another big splash, and every time it dips close to the water, it does a splash. And that also had me thinking, because of the no collision, you might be able to actually get it to a little bit lower, or maybe even into the water a little bit. Maybe not for a blueprint. Sometimes it doesn't let you add the water if there's a coaster track in the way, but if it was a park file, you might be able to sink the track into the water, and the coaster won't actually lose speed as it will here when it's going through actual water. And we've seen people do cascades where they sink the actual thing under the water, so it's kind of engulfed by the water, hiding the track. So you should be able to do that with the actual track itself. So for a park file, I think the Cascade could do some pretty darn cool things where you're not losing the momentum of the coaster, but you're still like screeching through the water, or skipping through the water, kind of. In terms of a Cascade design, if you guys are trying to build one, I think this is a really good way of doing it. If you were to have more of these sections, you kind of want to do it when the coaster's already lost its momentum. So say it comes down here, goes up and around, and then it hits a splash, and then it drops. That way it still has a bunch of momentum to gain off of the second drop, and then you could continue the coaster about, and then once it starts getting down low again, you bring it back up, and maybe right after here it has another splash, and then it could drop again and continue on and continue that momentum. So essentially every time the coaster's losing momentum, you bring it back up, drop it just a little bit and splash, and then allow it to drop again. That way you can continue the Cascade onward without having too many lifts, or just off of one lift entirely. However, I do like the way Syncros has done this as a solution by creating fake splashes and fake water points instead of having these flies in everywhere, as it's going to essentially stop all the momentum of your coaster. So it's an interesting design, and I think this is the first time I've seen a Cascade blueprint. You know, it really allowed me to look at things and analyze things for the first time. I've seen them in parks and stuff, and they're usually used as kind of like a log flume, as mentioned. So some interesting things to think about there, guys, if you're thinking about making a water coaster for this summer. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for this episode of Coaster Spotlight. If you guys enjoyed, please be sure to smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe for more daily Planet Coaster videos. And if you'd like to support the show to keep it going, you could do so by becoming a patron. All right, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a fantastic day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.